Hello everybody! Pineaaronapple here with a new anime called Talentless Nana. This show, adapted from the manga of the same name, written by Loose Boy, and adapted by Funimation, is a story of Among Us in a distant future where people develop superpowers, and as a school containing the young with abilities thrives on a deserted island, a mysterious girl named Nana appears, but something about her is off. This show was animated by Studio Bridge, known for Season 7, 8 and 9 of Fairy Tail, The Royal Tutor, and the future 2021 adaptation of Shaman King. Without further ado, let's get into the first episode of Talentless Nana. We open at the aforementioned mysterious school and are introduced to our main character, Nanao Nakajima, a quiet boy who definitely embodies many a school anime trope, who is put down upon due to the weakness of his ability. More on that later. He gets harassed by Mogu Ijima, the loud-mouthed bully archetype with a fire-based ability who seems to make Nano do his dirty work, as he gives Mogu pre-written homework. Nano is then approached by another popular student known as Sayakori, who shows how many of the supers hold contempt over those without powers, as believing Nano to be talentless, he kinda insults him as such. These two halves of Todoroki have a rivalry to be the most popular, bully versus ladies' man style. Let's move on from these two dunderheads. We are also shown Tanin Kyoshi, the useless homeroom teacher. Mogu's minions, literally referred to as henchmen A, B, and C, although their real names are Yuki Inoue, Taiko Utsaka, and Yoshitaka Name, respectively. Michiru Inuki is the put-upon, cute, trusting girl stereotype. Tsunekichi Hadadaria, the sleazy delinquent trope. Yohei Shibusawa, the bipolar honor student. Kirara Habu, the Gyaru. Yuka Sasaki, the tomboy, and Kaori Takanashi, another bitch. We are exposited with the most commonly hated movie line, as you know.
As everyone knows.
As you know.
As you all know. As you may know.
As you may know.
As you know.
As you know, I conducted a raid on the Great Library.
And are given the backstory as to why the students that develop powers are taught this way. When a supe who turns evil attacks others, they are said to turn into monsters. This is what the selected students are supposedly being taught to fight against. Then two new transfer students are introduced. The other main characters, I'm assuming, known as Kyoya Onodera, a smart and slightly disconnected individual who becomes an investigatory presence once people start disappearing from the school. And secondly, the titular Nana Hiragi, a cute, popular type girl who immediately displays her ability to be reading minds, and she gets very close to Nano. So she must be the love interest, I guess. Nana puts Nano into the running for class rep against both Fire and Ice Boy. We get shown Nano's backstory. His power is revealed to be Nullifier. He can only help the powers of others, leaving him as an outcast in the family, psychologically torturing him. Nana follows him. They eat and see the views of the island. Nana thinks that one of these enemy monsters may already be on the island, as Nana is seemingly pushed by a mysterious power through the safety ropes off the cliff. And our other transfer, Kyoya, seems to be investigating both Nanao and Nana. Nanao rescues Nana and they retreat back to their dorms. The next day, the Fire and Ice Boys fight, with Nano winning when neutralizing both their abilities. Nana bonds with him more, so these are definitely the main characters. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, so Nano fucking dies, and it turns out that Nana is actually powerless. She uses her immense talent and smarts at reading people to perceive what they're subconsciously thinking to make it seem as though she can read minds. And she's actually here to get rid of all the supes, stating that they are the true enemies of humanity. Is that racist? So this leaves us with Nana as the focus character. So instead of the outsider trope leading the story, it's the transfer student trope. What a fucking wild episode 1. Now we start episode 2 with a small hint into Nana's psyche, and with a look into how the world fell apart when the superpowers were first developed. With those who were destructive and those who tried to help all being branded as too dangerous. So these days they are sent to these remote schools to train, or at least that's what they think, as being on this island leaves them open to the destruction Nana is about to sow. The class start to notice the disappearance of Nanao, but all is as usual. Nana investigates the powers of those around her, trying to measure the extent of their abilities, eventually landing her sights on Yohei Shibusawa, the time traveler. She befriends him and figures out that the secret and limits of his power is that he travels back in time and rewrites what happened, but this leaves him exhausted after using this ability. He is a strange person, but before we can get further into that, Kiyoya appears, stating his investigation into the death of Nakajima. This leads Shibusawa to want to do the valiant thing and investigate the disappearance of Nakajima, going back in time and searching for him. Meanwhile, Nana plans her next move like we are in an episode of Sherlock. And you'll notice that I'm calling Nanao by his other name Nakajima now, because if I have to keep saying Nanao and then Nana, it's going to get very fucking confusing. It seems that whenever Shibusawa goes back in time, he's returned if seen by anyone from that time frame. Nana lures him out into the middle of nowhere where she has seemingly laid some sort of trap under the ground. But when Shibusawa goes back in time, he doesn't come back. Since established before he only travels in time, any space in the past he will experience in the future. So Nana uses this to her advantage. After figuring out that Shibusawa can't swim, she forces him to time travel back, falling into water in a panic, returning to be stuck under the lake that was frozen over at the start of the episode. Holy shit, that's clever. I was not expecting that, but when I figured it out, I was astonished at how well that works. And the episode leaves off with Kiyoya none the wiser. So episode 3 starts and Kiyoya jumps off a cliff. Nice. Back in class, people start to notice the disappearances, but are none the wiser. Again. Nana starts following Kiyoya, thinking he might be a problem, and she finds a stray cat he seems to be feeding. Kiyoya invites Nana over to play video games, and she starts analysing him to find out his power, as he seems to want them to be friends, very reminiscent of the L and Light dynamic from Death Note. Kiyoya starts being a fuckboy, as when he jumped off the cliff earlier, he found Nanao's watch. Nakajima, fuck. He is shown to be quite quirky and observant, as he is onto the fact that the case of Nakajima's disappearance was a murder. They discuss the interpretations of the enemies of humanity, and it's hard to tell whether or not Kiyoya is onto her or not, as we aren't yet privy to what he's thinking. Nana is shown to be further manipulated by this governing body behind her to get rid of the powered ones. She's always shot in a small spotlight, leaving her commanders as a dark, looming presence to not only the audience as the villains, but to Nana herself. The teacher is revealed to be a total pushover, and we start to see the inside of Kiyoya's head as Nana mentions the cat he's feeding, bringing it up naturally to make sure he feeds it. Nana starts to monologue, so I wonder what she's currently doing to size Kiyoya up. Maybe a spy camera in hopes of finding out his power, or... Fucking Christ. Well, I shouldn't be surprised after the last 2 episodes. Who's the main character going to be now? Ice Guy? Gyaru? Well, at least she saved the random cat. And unfortunately for Nana, Kiyoya is still alive? And he is hot on Nana's tail. He is a regular teenage Sherlock, although it turns out his hidden talent is immortality. That's got to be a real kick in the pants for Nana. He also proves her ability incorrect in his own mind, and he affirms what Nana guessed, that he has no sense of smell, so when he went to warm up the cat's milk, he set ablaze the room unbeknownst to him that was already full of gas. And these looks on Nana's face is priceless. When I first saw this scene, the look of surprise here was emulated in my face. And Kyoya just walks away? Okay. It looks like we have our actual main characters, folks, after 2 have already been killed. Now to episode 4, the first episode that keeps everyone from the previous episode alive. Now in episode 4, Kyoya starts to try and create doubt in the other students about Nakajima's disappearance, as Nana continues to formulate her next plan to get rid of Kyoya. The bitches come in to make fun of Michiru, and that's certainly someone's fetish right there. Nana confers her info about Michiru and thinks that she could kill 150,000 people? Her ability to heal comes at the cost of her own lifespan, so what's she gonna do? Suicide them to death? How does she kill that many? Oh, let's just move on. Kyoya is keeping tabs on Nana, and the bullying of Michiru leaves her open to be manipulated and befriended by Nana. They bond a fair bit, and Kyoya is increasing his stalking degree tenfold. To distract Kyoya, Nana runs around and stabs herself. This gives her both an alibi to evading Kyoya and a chance to find the measure of Michiru's power. Kyoya thinks, and Nana uses this plight to rally the others' spirits, with her as she plans to become leader, the title held before for a single day by Nakajima. Kyoya is very, very confused, but is still on Nana's case. The Ice and Fire Boys start rallying the class to once again get the title of leader. Then Nana, using the excuse of their rumoured enemies on the island, having attacked her and killed the first of her victims, letting Michiru convince the class to have Nana as their leader, and Kyoya is still left suspecting her of foul play. He once again talks with her, looking for some give, but Nana has already got rid of her gimlet in favour of a deadly poison. How the fuck did she manage to make that shit? Kyoya is still very confused, and this creep comes out of the woodwork. I mentioned this man before. He is Tsunekichi Hatadaria, and he tells Nana he has the ability to have printed visions of the future. Having a scene of her killing him, he is now interested in why this vision came to him. Nana sizes up his power and finds that it is truly impossible to deviate from the projected future. It is shown that he also has a photo of Nana murdering Nakajima. Oops, well, now that he has evidence against her, I bet all my money this guy will be dead in at most 2 episodes. So now in episode 5, Tsunekichi is a massive creep and a slob. But Nana is now stuck as his girlfriend until she can figure out a way to destroy the evidence against her. In the photo of his death, Tsunekichi notes that it takes place at 10 o'clock, meaning he has at least till that time to live every day until that moment. So the way Tsunekichi's power works is that he sees the future in his dreams. These visions are then printed to picture by his camera. Nana pockets one of these photos and takes the camera ready to start a new plot, taking some photos of her own. Tsunekichi reveals he can only take 5 pictures per night. Realizing that Nana pocketed one, he takes this back almost immediately. Nana plans to poison Tsunekichi, but the appearance of some meatheads outside have the worst timing for her. But she takes her alone time to meddle with Tsunekichi's watch. Nana lies in wait to meet Tsunekichi in the room where he is destined to die. But like a fool, she drops her poison, leaving the rope from the photo as her only weapon. She goes in for the kill, but he quickly waves her off. Eager to create the scene in the photo, she hid from him. Ugh. But his victory is over quite quickly, as when he starts to creep on her, she is finally able to poison him. He is understandably surprised and wonders why the photo he took of her didn't come true. Anticipating this, she made this photo as a fake and still has the original missing photo on hand. The events of the real photo are seen as Kyoya and Michiru walk in. Oops. Kyoya finds only the rapey photo, and he continues to push her, and she very successfully bullshits him. But Kyoya's suspicion is still unchanged. Nana attempts to steal the remaining photos, but is followed by Kyoya looking for evidence to point towards the cause of death, although in this pursuit Kyoya makes little progress. Until he states a theory that is exactly what happened. Nana retires to her room, but looking over the piles of retrieved evidence, she sees one is missing, only to be found by Michiru. Well, shit. What a cliffhanger to leave on, am I right? It would be a bit of an annoyance if I would end the episode here, but these past 5 episodes have certainly set up an interesting premise to set a game of Among Us in. And remember to tune into my next review video, as we should be covering the next couple episodes of this show. Thank you everybody for watching this video. Please leave a like down below if you liked it, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you'd like to see more content like this, and if you do, remember to ring the notification bell so that you are alerted every single time I make an upload, to guarantee you won't miss the next part of this review. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!